Welcome to the G.A.B. This is G.A.B.
They should have never gave you platform.
Y'all know what segment we about to get into. We about to get into the SAF segment. And today I'm going to talk about this movie right here. Let me tell you something. Somehow I remember the whole plot of the movie, but for some weird reason I had a hard time figuring out the title of the movie, the name of the movie. I still had a hard time. Hell, it's in front of my face, and I'm still reading like, is that the right movie? It's called Escaping the Madhouse, the Nellie Bly story on Hulu. So, it's one of these Hulu movies, right? Me and my lady, we be watching like Hulu scary movies. We watch all scary movies from Hulu, Netflix, HBO. It don't matter. But I'll be watching, like, we be watching the Hulu movies, and it's like, some of them have potential, but they be straight doo-doo water when it comes to certain aspects. Like, either the acting is terrible, or the storyline is straight ass, or, like, the lighting, how they trying to use for horror and thriller is just terrible, right? So, like, actually, I ain't gonna blame Hulu. This was a Lifetime story. And let me tell you, one, they get you on, it's like, it's inspired by a true story. You feel me? If you don't pay attention, you're going to be like, oh, this is based off a true story. No, inspired. Which means they could have saw something that was a true story and it's like, okay, we're just going to take one element out that story and, make it a movie. Because it's inspired. It's not based. It almost got me. Another thing with the Lifetime horror films. First of all, I don't really ever see thrillers or like horror genres with Lifetime. So I was like, okay, and the storyline was actually pretty freaking good. But I hated the tone they were trying to set. Oh my God, bro. It was the same type of tone. The lighting was too bright. It wasn't dark elements. It was like, if you watch the Lifetime movie, it was one of those type of movies. Like the way it was shot and everything. Like, Hallmark time. It was like a Hallmark horror film. How do you do that? What? How? Is they about to murder or are they about to Yes. Because Lifetime is all about the romance and stuff like that. I'm like, bruh. And I'm going to get into the plot. They try to throw some stuff in there and then they threw a curveball, you feel me? But let me get to the stats, you feel me? Because, I'm a stats teacher. And let me also get to the cast, you feel me? Because, like, the acting was good, too. Like I said, the only thing that really had me, like, really was, like, they made it was very goofy-like. They didn't make it, like, a thriller tone. It was, like, lights are too bright. It was too goddamn corny with certain things. It's like, you know what I mean? Let me give you the stats, though, you feel me? IMDb gave it a 6.4. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 55%. But the people gave it a 90%. Man, what the people? What are you thinking? I agree with IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. So frick them. Like, people, what are y'all thinking? What was y'all watching? It's most definitely like, I gave it like a 6. You feel me? Man, the people were thrilled. Shit, let me shut the F up then. Like, y'all know what y'all got the people behind y'all. Y'all the people's movie. Giggity. See what I did there? Because people's champ. No? All right. Let me give you the actors. All right. So, Judith Light, she played Maltron Grady, and Maltron Grady is the person that runs the insane asylum, essentially. And then Josh Bowman played Dr. Joshua, and give his name, Dr. Joshua. And him and Dr. Joshua, they were kind of butt heads here and there, you feel me? But I'm gonna let me just wait, because I don't spoil it until throughout the plot. Oh, and y'all should always know, all my movie reviews and show reviews are spoilers. I don't need to tell y'all that shit. Use y'all brain. And then, Christina, wait a minute! What? Hold on. She played Nellie Bly? Christina Ricci. Holy Harriet. Christina Ricci played Nellie Bly, and I didn't even know that was Christina Ricci. Christina Ricci is like in Yellow Jacket. She played Wednesday back in the day in the Addams Family. Like, I know who Christina Ricci is. I didn't know that was her playing this movie. See, I told y'all the acting was good. That's what I'm saying. The acting was good. Shit was solid. Okay. Then also another character that was important. Two more characters that was kind of in importance was Nick, played by Nikki Duvall, was Nurse Fenton, and then played by Mark Heldriff was Bats. And Nurse Fenton, I mean, she's a nurse at the damn insane asylum. And Bats was the I think they were engaged, like, but he wasn't the husband. I think it was the boyfriend of Nellie Bly. You know, I'll give y'all the plot so then y'all could see what these characters. Oh, another important character now that I think about it was Lottie, played by Angie Savizic, and she comes from like. Actually, I don't even know if she comes from a family. See how good she played the role? Because she ended up being insane. She ended up being a crazy person. Like, delusional, deranged. But I really thought she came from, like, some wealthy family, but I think she didn't. And then she's, yeah. Anyway, plot of the movie. Nellie Bly is essentially, she's a writer, right? And what she does is she's a reporter, and they hear about this insane asylum, which is named. It actually has a name, other than insane asylum. Let me give you the real name. Neil's beginning after Neil underground treatment, living with no. What's the name of the insane asylum? What? At the Women's Lunatic Asylum. But I don't know the damn name of the asylum. If y'all know it, put it in the comments below. But essentially, they hear about this story, and Bats and her, they go together, but they also work together. So what she did was she didn't tell Bats that she was gonna go into this insane asylum to get the story, to live the situation firsthand herself, and get the voices of the unheard of the women in the insane asylum. So, but what she did, she wrote a letter and mailed it to Bird and was like, "Yo, if you don't see me in these amount of days, I'm probably here." So you feel me? So essentially, she went into the insane asylum and she diagnosed herself as mentally disturbed. And the first character she met is Marshall Grady. Marshall Grady might be mentally disturbed too. Hell, everybody in this movie could be mentally disturbed. You could have really called this movie Mentally Disturbed. I'm going insane. Meaning you, the person, you're going to start going insane. You like, who is who? Is anybody sane in this damn movie? The only two sane people was Nellie Bly, and for a minute you thought she was insane. You were like, nah, bro, I don't know. She might be crazy too. And Bat. And his name is insane. Who the hell named himself Bats? I ain't never met anybody named Bats. Like, ever. Even Batman don't call himself Bats. Anyway, so she get in there and like, you know, now is like kind of her fling, somewhat love interest. Not really, because Dr. Joshua, all right, he comes into play, right? And you think he a good guy, but you always had a hint like, nah, this nigga up to no good, man. He's up to no good. Nah, something wrong with bruh. So, like, you know, he button heads with Martin Grady and stuff like that. And Nellie Bly is like, okay, I'm going to play off the emotions, doctor. Well, not even play off the emotion, because he was perceiving himself as a good person, really trying to help out not only Nellie Bly, but the women in the insane asylum. And, like, one of the women that gets brought in there was Lottie. And Lottie, at first you thought, like, okay, maybe she is rich. Then she said something that I was like, I don't know. she might be a little insane. And it turns out she was batshit crazy because this family she was talking about, she ain't even part of that family. So it's like, yo, she is loony. And she did something else. Okay. Well, anyway, Nurse Fenton comes in. And Nurse Fenton, actually, I give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, she was just put in such the craziest situation of working at this insane asylum. But she was a sane person too. Actually, no. Because she did make Nellie Bly go to this place where she said her brother had a boat, and comes to find out that her brother, hell, did she even have a brother? Because nobody came with a boat, and it got Nellie Bly caught up. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. This movie was just nothing but the mentally disturbed. God damn. That's why I wish Lifetime would have made this tone more darker, because, like, the storyline is so good. Like, you don't know who is who. But they literally made it like a Hallmark. Like, and the whole romance, well, I say half romance, was because Dr. Joshua and Nellie Bly, like, Dr. Joshua was messing with her at first. And was like, yeah. And then, like, certain signs start showing up. Then you find out, bruh been to other insane asylums and did this to other women. He what you call it? He started getting all abusive. Then he assault the women. Then they fire his ass. And he go to another insane asylum. I'm like, bro, this just like in the medical field. Not the whole abusing or nothing like that, but these niggas don't communicate with each other. How does he keep getting goddamn jobs at insane asylums? Y'all got somebody on the phone like, hey, bro, hey, Dr. Joshua, bro, you know what? Y'all shouldn't hire him, bro. Like, y'all don't have, like, meetings with other insane asylums, or, like, in the medical field, other offices and doctor offices. Y'all don't have, like, something where y'all be like, yo, this motherfucker ain't about shit. Like, no, they didn't. Okay. I mean, it's inspired by a true story. I mean, I gotta ask. This is true. I mean, anyway, he started doing that shit. And, like, Dr. Joshua essentially is in love with Nellie Bly. You know what I mean? And he's just using his power to, you know, do what white men with power do. Most of them. You know what I mean? Abuse it. He abusing his power. Literally. So what he doing? And then one of the things that showed, like, Bats came in and talked to Dr. Joshua. And then Dr. Joshua was like, nah, Nellie Bly ain't even here, yo. And, like, bruh, like, Bats was about to leave. And Nellie Bly was like, oh, hell no. You ain't shit, Dr. Joshua. And then she bamped out. Caught up with Bats, you feel me? And, like, you know, oh, that was her escape ticket. But while shit was going on, it's like, there's one scene where it's this chair, and Dr. Joshua brought the chair in the room and had all the insane women sitting in there, because it made them feel like they're back at home. And Marshall Grady came and was like, what the hell you doing? Don't you know this is going to cause a frenzy? Which it did. It caused a frenzy. You feel me? And there's one part where the Lottie chick, she set herself on fire. Even the person in the car out there that honked the horn was like, God damn. I can't believe it. Set herself on fire. Like, literal fire. A flame. And it was Dr. Joshua's fault. Marshall Grady knew, like, cause they were doing, like, basically torture treatment. You know what I mean? They had this one contraption where they basically waterboard, but putting them down and drowning them and shit like that. Then they had this other contraption. I think it was some shock therapy or something. But I know Dr. Joshua, I think Nellie Bly suggested, but Dr. Joshua also suggested to Marshall Grady that they instead of doing this one treatment, you should just with kerosene or something. And Marshall Grady was like, okay. She knew the shit was flammable. She, like, left a lighter somewhere and was like, mm-hmm. And what Lottie do? Doused herself in the shit Or no. They was already doused in it. She picked up the lighter, set herself to blaze. And I know y'all like, damn, that is insane. That's not the most insane part of this movie. And everything I've been telling y'all about has been insane in the membrane type shit. Everything's been just out of order. Yeah. Even my review, it seems very out of order. It seems very deranged. I'm just like all over the damn place. I know, because this movie was like that. But you want to know what the craziest thing was? After Nellie Bly linked up back with Bats, got out the insane asylum and wrote the book and everything like that, and gave these women a voice of the torture that they was going through. That wasn't even the most insane part. The most insane part was at the very end. When they said this all happened in 7 days. What? I'm literally, me and my lady, we're looking at this movie and literally thinking the same thing, like 7 days? How? I thought this happened in a span of like 2 years. 7 days? Are you serious? I was baffled. I was like, wow. 'Cause these people were insane. It was crazy. It's crazy to flip of Lottie how fast she went in 7 days. Nellie Bly was starting to go a little, just going crazy. Just, bruh, 7 days? That was the plot twist at the very freaking end. I was like, wow, that is, wow. Yeah, that was the major plot twist. It made me think of the movie all differently now. I was like, wait a minute. Now that's crazy. Now that is insane. But yeah, like I said, this movie, very good. Really good elements. I know this Hulu or whatever Hulu put on their streaming platform when it comes to movies and stuff. Like, it's like they have great elements within the movie. Like this one, great acting. You feel me? Storyline was pretty solid. You know, inspired by a true story. So some of this, there was some true elements. You feel me? And it was like the little plot twist at the end with the 7 days and like, you know, the whole plot twist of Dr. Joshua. That was really good. But y'all effed it up with the tone, the lighting. Y'all made it too cheery and corny and stuff like that. Y'all should have made it dark. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You watching a movie, make it dark, twisted. Y'all messed it up and made this movie a freaking 6. This shit should have been like a 9. It's because it was on Lifetime. You feel me? But we just gonna say Hulu because we watching on Hulu and it was on the Hulu platform. But Lifetime be having, I didn't know Lifetime did horror movies, first of all. But second of all, Lifetime have that stylistic of movies. Like, no matter what genre, you feel me? Drama, goddamn romance, comedy. It's always stylistically like very bright, very lighthearted. You know, it was that. And that's how this tone of the movie was, and it messed it up. You feel me? But like I say, I don't deter you or encourage you to watch these movies. I just give my spiel about it. And look, you go from there. Either you watch it or you don't. Once again, this is Escaping the Madhouse, the Nellie Bly story. On Hulu. 7 days, man. God damn, that is, wow.